I'm not going to say a single word about the Tennessee Titans record against the Indianapolis Colts because I was a punter, and there's no reason for me to talk about that. With that being said, we did not punt much against the Tennessee Titans, so you probably have no clue who I am to begin.
Look, I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, call it audible. Serving up them Hail Marys till the game over with the showstopper. So hot, you gotta blow on it. I said I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll pass to my left while I'm looking to my right. Hit him right in the chest. It be looking like magic. Better give me the throne. I ain't talking about Patrick, but I rep my home. I'm never at the end of my zone. I'm bad to the bone. Eating up these pig skins like they chicharrones. And you a douche cabron. Mira, mira at the mirror on the wall. I'm the greatest of them all. They gon' put me in the hall. Your name is only written in a bathroom stall. Quit your stalling and make a play. My drive too long. Pop the clutch, I don't pump the brakes. I know what it takes to gain the muscle, get rugged. These butterfingers be fumbling. Squash the scrimmage and rub it in Robitussin. How I give them concussion. They seeing double, they rushing and pass the shovel. The dirt and rubble, I bury them under it. Stay in your huddle and get 10 yards back. Never turn your back. I'ma pull your flag. I go full contact. Out punch, out kick like a shotgun.
What up, what up, what up? It is the Horseshoe Mob Podcast. I'm here with my boys, Josh Sr., Austin Cook. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Man, chilling.
Man, I'm feeling good. I've been feeling good ever since I saw that the Stros and Orioles been knocked out of the playoffs. I am good.
Real quick, that's actually a good point. Did the Orioles win a playoff game this year?
They haven't won one since 2014.
That would be 10 years, right?
Yes.
Damn. Imagine, all those series sweeps that they avoided all season just get bumped down in the playoffs again. That must suck.
Yes, same for the Astros.
Oh yeah, it's always a good time when the Stros lose in the playoffs. That's always great. But anyway, we're not here to talk about those buns. We're here to talk about the Colts. Welcome to the Horseshoe Mob Podcast, where we talk all about the Colts and only about the Colts, and put in a little slighting Titan slander, which we will do plenty of today. Before we get to that, let's talk about Fan Battle Sports, fanbattlesports.com, where you can get the latest and greatest from the AFC South, including, of course, our Colts. The Titans, who have a quarterback issue, just don't know it yet. Maybe they do. I don't know. The Jags, who have a generational talent that's not really generational. And, of course, the Texans, who just kind of tries to get by. FanBattleSports.com. Of course, you can find us there. Get the latest articles from the team, the boys, get the latest episodes, and all that good stuff. FanBattleSports.com. All righty, boys. Let's talk about this week's. Actually, before we do that, real quick, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. I believe it's at Horseshoe Mob on Twitter. Join us in our Facebook group, all the good stuff. Follow us everywhere you want to go and you want to be, because we are the best source for all of your Horseshoe Mob Colts content. All right, boys, let's jump right into it. I want to start this game, reviewing this game and kind of break it down into pieces. We'll talk about Tanner Bortolini's performance first. Tanner, of course, comes in, first career NFL start, rookie coming in. I think it was the third or fourth round pick in the draft this year. And he was absolutely excellent. I thought he played very, very well. I'm very, very impressed. It makes me very excited. Because one of the things we talk a lot about on this team, that it's like the most hated word, is, of course, depth. But I think this is more than depth. This is like the future, right? It's a glance in the future. He's going to step right into that center role if and when Ryan Kelly chooses to retire. Austin, I'm going to start with you tonight. Give us a little bit of a breakdown on Tanner. What did you see? What did you like? What didn't you like?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he played great, and like I don't think we knew going into the game that Ryan Kelly wasn't playing, so it's kind of a shock. And then we were all worried, how is he gonna do? He's a rookie, he's not played yet, and he really surprised, I think, everybody. I mean, it, like you said, it's exciting to know that we finally have a good backup center, because I don't think we've had like an actual backup center. We've put in Danny Pinter, who's a guard, and French, who I don't think is that good of a center. But
Yep.
just exciting for the future.
Yeah, for sure. Josh, what are your thoughts?
I was nervous. Like when we saw the news that Ryan Kelly would be inactive, I was like, "Oh, against this front, I'm nervous as heck." They got is it Casey Hayward, a dog at D line, and then we all been talking about it before the show. T.J. Watt. I was nervous as heck. Like you need a center that's gonna make call out the plays and make sure that the offensive line and the offense flowing as it did. And on their first drive, going on the field and scoring that touchdown, I was like, "Oh, we're in good hands." Then you see him running to the sideline, high fiving everybody. I was like, "Oh, this kid is really excited," and I was as well. So I was like, "Yeah, we're in good hands." If and will, Ryan Kelly either has to miss another game, he chooses to leave in free agency, like you said, retire, whatnot. We're in good hands with Tanner. So shout out to Tanner for what he did again against that front. He got another front coming. He got another set of teams that have great fronts. So if Kelly chooses to miss this game or hasn't missed a game, we're in good hands.
Yeah, I think one thing I felt like the offensive line didn't miss a beat in his presence, and I think that's really exciting. As you guys alluded to, he calls out the protections before every snap. He's essentially the quarterback of the offensive line, right? Him and Anthony Richardson have to be lock point. He has to know what protections to call. What slide protections to call in order to make sure the play goes smoothly. I thought the running game was really good. I just thought the protection for Anthony Richardson was also very good. So shout out to Tanner Bordenlini. Very excited to see him in the future. And it's always good to know on a team that produces a lot of injuries that we've got backups and spaces that are that are able to step in and hopefully one day we can say the same thing about our starters. Speaking of injuries, I actually say that about all of our starters. Speaking of injuries, our most favorite thing to talk about. Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor go down with injuries. So it looks like it was a hip for Anthony Richardson, high ankle sprain for Jonathan Taylor. Shane Steichen spoke today. Anthony Richardson potentially in some sort of limited capabilities. He gets hurt right on the one play. I believe it was I can't remember the play, but then he goes out for a play, comes back in, has a little option read, and then takes off and gets hit again, and then he gets taken out. So Josh, kind of like, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling? Hearing the news from Shane Steichen today, do you think he plays this weekend? And if not, do you trust Joe Flacco to play an entire game for this team?
I want to be selfish and be like, you know what, he has to play. I know a lot of us have talked about it last couple of days since Sunday. It's just a hip corner. He a little sore, and if possible, if he can't play, because after seeing Flacco get in and take 4 sacks, you're like, oh my God, it's got to get killed. I was like, not again, because we've seen that with Gardner Minshew get in. Gardner, he's not a mobile guy, but he can pass the ball across the field and lead guys open. Same thing with Flacco. Once he got comfortable, he was able to move the ball to Josh Downs and other weapons, especially Michael Pittman. He's a veteran guy, going against Jacksonville. I want this win. I don't give a damn if all 3 play. It's including Shane Steichen. Put Shane Steichen in. If he can play along with AR and Joe Flacco getting this win Sunday, it would be great. It'd be great. It'd be something that get the monkeys off our back. But him practicing on limited, him being limited today is a good sign. A good sign. Hopefully, he continues to practice. Tomorrow and Friday, and we'll see where his body holds at after. No deity. Holds after all the practices coming up, and if he's able to play, he's able. Put him on that field because he's just that deadly. Being a weapon in the run game and the passing game.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin, talk about Jonathan Taylor. He didn't practice today. High ankle sprains. We know there's various grades of high ankle sprains. We don't know what that's going to do as far as like the recovery time, the ability to play on it, the force to need to sit out. What are your thoughts on Jonathan Taylor? What did you see? What do you think will happen this weekend with Jonathan Taylor?
So I mean, obviously, we signed Penix to the practice squad. That gets people thinking, is Jonathan Taylor going to play? Is he not? I think he's more likely to not play than Anthony Richardson, but I don't think it's impossible that JT plays. Um, it would obviously stink because he's been our main, like our most consistent player on the offense. So if he's not there, Trey Sermon's gonna have to step up. Whoever Goodson will have to step up. Um, but I mean, I think our offensive line has been playing good enough to where it won't cost us the game if Jonathan Taylor can't play, but it would obviously be a big hit if he can't.
Yeah, I mean, we played 4 games, and real quick, shout out to Sean. Hey, what's up, Sean? Thanks for chatting in and tuning in to the show. We appreciate it. It'll be interesting. We played without Jonathan Taylor for the first 4 weeks of last season. We ended the season without Jonathan Taylor. It's been kind of a thing that we've done over the last couple of years. Not saying we love to do that, but
Mhm.
could this team get through a game or two without him? Probably. But is it ideal? Probably not. Especially, these next 2 games, which, I don't know what the NFL's deal is. They love to schedule back-to-back division games on the road for us. Or actually back-to-back division games. It's like, they do this. Actually, no, it is back-to-back road division games. This is the first time this has happened. Go to Jacksonville today. Haven't won there in like 600 years. And then we have to hopefully make sure we do that. And then we get to go to the car dealership, which is a place we usually win at. Go buy our cars for the next year and come back and do what we need to do. That Tennessee defensive line, I hate to say it, is actually very, very good. It's probably one of the best in the league. And so that's going to be that matchup between our offensive line and their defensive line is going to be very interesting. And so, we've got to go deal with that. It'll be nice. It'll be really nice to have Jonathan Taylor next week. I don't know the impact of not having him this week because, quite honestly, I haven't watched much Jacksonville. I just know that they don't know how to win a football game, which is usually disaster for us because that means they walk in and they celebrate the Super Bowls early. So, I guess it kind of takes us to our next point. Should the Colts be concerned with Anthony Richardson moving forward? The narratives are going to start. Oh, he's injury prone. Oh, the guy can't stay healthy. This is now the second straight year where he's had to miss time. Given the amount of starts he has as a pro, the lack of experience he had in college, we know what experience means in this league. You can see it with the guys who had a lot of experience in college and have been successful in the pros. What are your thoughts on the concerns, or should there be any concern with Anthony Richardson moving forward? Josh, what do you think?
There should be some concerns because he continues to get hurt and taking unnecessary hits. That was an unnecessary hit he took where he ran in between 2 defenders, one him in the back or hip. And then he came back after a couple of plays. He came back and she got his head almost taken off by Fitzpatrick. Minka Fitzpatrick. There is some concerns, at least for the fans. For his organization, I'm sure they're going to stand by their quarterback until they can't anymore. And they should. The guy got a lot of potential. He just got to get himself out of harm's way and make sure that he stays on the field and play well for his team. Don't know when that's going to happen, but I know he got some time to develop, and they're going to develop him slowly as possible and not in a hurry. He just got to not take unnecessary hits. So that's my concern. But as far as the team goes, they're going to ride with their quarterback.
Sean says he's a running quarterback. He's going to have injuries. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair point. But there's a lot of running quarterbacks that have a lot. Again, it comes down to experience. Lamar Jackson has a lot of experience. He knows how to use his legs. He knows when to use it, what to do with it, all that good stuff. At this level, right? In college, Anthony Richardson can get away with this stuff. In the pros, you have defensive linemen that can also run 4.40s. It's insane. So it's not quite the same. It's experience that's going to come with that, and he'll adjust to that. I think he's smart enough to do it. Now, is he? And does he have the quarterbacks have their own ego, right? And they want to prove themselves right. That's the piece that he's going to have to learn as time goes along, and kind of see what happens with that. And then Ryan chimes in. If he misses 4 to 5 games this year, I'm very concerned. I don't know if I'd go that far yet. And I'm not somebody that was like, yeah, we should go and get Anthony Richardson because our GM's 8 years in and made enough excuses. We should give him 5 more years of excuses. I'm definitely not that guy, but I do believe in it. Seeing him play, seeing the success that we could have with him in this offense, I do believe that you're gonna have to give him time because he's not coming into the league with 30 starts as a college quarterback in a Heisman race, and and in a situation that is he's set up for success. He still has a lot of learning to do. Austin, what are your thoughts? Are you concerned if with Anthony Richardson moving forward, and if not, what would it take to get to that level, or what when do you hit the trigger for panic? I guess if you would say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what both of you guys said. Like right now, I'm not concerned. He's still young and he's still learning. He's still, going through that process. He's played in like 8 games now in the NFL, so it's obviously going to take some time. And I think he will learn because he is smart. He's only 22. Um, but like obviously if he doesn't learn and he just keeps on trying to like run people over and keeps on getting hurt, then that's when it becomes a problem. But we're just hoping that he'll learn to get out of harm's way. If he needs to fight for a yard or two at the goal line, go for it. But if it's not for a touchdown, don't take a hit if you don't have to.
No, I think that's fair, and just seeing what happens um, moving forward will be very interesting. Listen, Anthony Richardson said it this himself. It's football, man. At the end of the day, and so you can kind of tell some of that ego is there, where it's like, this is how I'm going to play, and we're going to adjust. We will figure things out. I don't want people to be concerned, but I'm not changing the way I play, and I don't think they should be forced to change the way he plays because then you lose a whole skill set that he has, which is part of the reason why we brought him here, right? I wanted Richardson as Stroud. Ryan says he was always a project. Being inexperienced is one thing, not being able to stay on the field to gain it is another. And I think that's a good point. But again, if you go to the way he's getting hurt, his lack of experience puts him in some of the situations he's been put in, which he does not know how to deal with, right? Again, Lamar Jackson started over 30 games in college, was a Heisman Trophy winner, knew you played in big games throughout his college career. I don't know if you know what's happening in Florida right now, but they're not exactly world beaters right now. They can barely beat the Citadels, so they've got their own concerns and they've got their own issues in that program. And Anthony Richardson playing really only a year in that system and not getting very many starts didn't help his development either. We know he was picked strictly and solely based on his potential, and Ballard wanting to essentially put his career on the line for Anthony Richardson, which is that's fine. You guys know I love CJ Stroud, but that was always my number one option. I thought he was easily the best quarterback in that class, and I don't think it was even close. But I knew what we were getting with Richardson, and I knew the potential, and you could see the pitch. Was it the first or second play of the game? The throw to Michael Pittman Jr.
It was the first play. The first play.
Yeah, the first play.
That's the potential that we're looking at with this guy. Yeah, it's probably it might be the first or second best throw he's made as a pro. So we see the potential. Wasn't he like 75% completion percentage before he got hurt?
I think he went 3 for 4 with like 70 something yards.
71 yards.
Like,
we don't need to put the numbers in there, right? We just put the percentage. Put your narratives.
Yeah, it was high. It was high.
He was so good. He was 75% completion percentage. 3 for 4. No, we don't need to do all that. Austin, no need to do that.
I'm just saying, like it was a good start. Like it was promising, and then
I think the one thing that sucks, and I'd be curious to hear you guys' takes on this. Go ahead.
Sorry, if you look at Lamar Jackson, like you said, he's got experience and he doesn't really deal with many injuries now. But at the beginning of his NFL career, he did have to deal with a lot of injuries, and he was out for a long period of time, a few times. So Sean said, he's a running quarterback. He's gonna get banged up, but he has to learn from it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think he will. Right? You know, I think maybe from my perspective, the most frustrating thing. It's not necessarily concerning. It's frustrating. It's like it's always these games where he's to like really start cooking, and then something happens. Right? Last year in the Texans game, comes out blazing, and probably steamroll that team. But he gets hurt in the end zone. The concussion occurs. He comes back. He starts to play well against the Titans, and then the shoulder happens. And then now, this year he just guns firing, right? Those first two series, and then all of a sudden he has this hip issue. I think that's probably the most frustrating point. It's because it's almost like he's getting to a point to where he can finally start to build a flow, and then something happens. So the moment he can get past, I guess, this like mini whatever you want to call it, whether it's like I don't know, a wall, I don't know what you want to call it, but the moment he can get past this point where it's like I finally cook for an entire game. He's played a couple of entire games. He's won entire games. Now it's about I cook and I play well and we win a game. I think that's the next step in like development that we see where it's like, okay, he's done it all. He's put it all together. Now we can start to focus on how do we do that for 2 games in a row, 5 games in a row, 8 games in a row. And I think that's when things start happening. So,
did you see his press conference with James Boyd?
I have not. No,
Okay.
I saw the only thing I saw today was the Steichen conference. I haven't seen anything else. That's usually what I do in my when I play games at night. I usually listen to like all the 5 million press conferences across the Colts and the Texas Longhorns. So it is on my list of things to listen to tonight.
Well, I'll just give you a little snippet on what was said. He asked him about the label being injury prone. So he kind of compared that to
James Boyd, man. He asked some tough questions. I like James Boyd.
So the answer, his response was, people like, normal people like us, we try to go out there and take hits every day against, certain, players, his weight size. We'll be sore too, or have some injuries, which I get it, but it kind of sounded like he was just annoyed by it because that's been his thing since college, being hurt. So he's getting tired of it. So I hope he channeled that into his performance because he's not going to avoid injuries. He just got to channel it to his performance. Like, hey, I want to be out there with my teammates. I don't want to be on the sideline. I don't want to be in the blue tent. I don't want to be on our. I want to be on my team. On my team. I just got to get out of harm's way. I got to not take these hits. If I see a player that's bigger than me, take the better route. Slide down, go out of bounds. Because we know this. A defensive player, linebacker, cornerback, they wants to hit a quarterback. We're really any player, but a quarterback who can barely get touched. They got an opportunity to hit his ass. They will, and he's allowing that to do that. Other quarterbacks are getting out of harm's way. I mean, other than Will Levis, dumbass, but it's just I
think Will Levis the best quarterback in the league. That guy.
Yeah, King Levis, but it just.
That's actually a really good point, and I think the one thing, about that whole scenario is like the frustration that he has, and you can kind of see it in his face, and maybe you see it in his face. I haven't seen this particular press conference, so I'll go find it, but I think there was another like locker room press conference that were maybe earlier this week, right after the game. You could tell that there's a sense of frustration from his end. But to your point, right? Like some of these other quarterbacks know what hits to take. Anthony Richardson's a big guy. Like he could probably absorb a lot more hits than even Lamar Jackson could just because of his pure size. But because of also his pure size, he's taking a lot of hits that a lot of other quarterbacks wouldn't take. And he's not getting the calls for those hits that other quarterbacks are taking, right? There's a couple like helmet to helmet hits that he's taken that haven't been called. There's been a couple late hits that haven't been called. It reminds me kind of like, and I don't love using this comparison, obviously because we just played the Steelers, but like Big Ben early in his career. You guys remember like Big Ben would get hit all over the place, and he wouldn't get a lot of the same calls some of the other quarterbacks would get just because of his size. And you also compare that to like the NBA. Like the bigger guys just don't get some of the calls that everybody else does because of their size. And that's something Anthony Richardson has to adjust for. That's more reason to be like, I've got to be even more aware, because if I'm getting hit some of the way some of these other guys are getting hit, I'm not going to get the same benefit of the doubt because I'm because of my size, even though I play. Now, if Anthony Richardson ends up being like, one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league, maybe that conversation changes. But in his current situation, I don't know if he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt of those types of hits until probably later in his career, or something else changes. So I think that's something else he needs to keep in mind of as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, all the big quarterbacks, Cam Newton, before he retired, he was getting he was smacked. He was getting smacked a lot, and they wouldn't call it anything. Like you said, to a point in basketball, I hate to bring it up, but LeBron, greatest player.
LeBron didn't call anything.
Yeah, he just get. So you're right, and I think Luka too. He's not overweight, but kind of big, and he's talented.
Let me call a point guard overweight, VP.
No, I said he's not overweight. I was saying
yeah, definitely not overweight, 100%.
Yeah, but I get you. Yeah, so
definitely not overweight.
He definitely got to take a look at that. He got to take a look at himself, because, like you said, he's athletic, he's fast, he can do a lot with the in the pocket, out of the pocket. But players are watching for him to run out of that pocket. If he don't slide, that's a free hit for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to stop.
I think he should use his size and his speed to extend plays, but also, again, I don't want to like take away his dynamicism, because I think there's still opportunities for him to zone read or option read and do all that fun stuff, and design quarterback run. We finally saw some design quarterback runs, right? And so it's like, dang it, now does that reset the clock for some of these things? And I hope that's not the case, because he is dynamic in that way. It's part of the reason why we got him, because of the way how dynamic he can be. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Hopefully he plays on Saturday, because I want to end this stupid curse. But before we talk about the dumb curse, let's talk about a new curse that's occurring, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers not being the Colts. So instant game reactions. What are your guys' just instant thoughts? And we can go into a couple of things. Austin, I can actually, you know what? Before I do that, because I should probably do my due diligence as a team, as a commentator. Sorry, my apologies. Colts do win 27-24. Defense comes up big to end the game. Stops the Steelers offense from scoring and converting on 4 downs. Honestly, I think they get off to the fast start, get up 17-0. Steelers reel it back in. They come back into the game. Anthony Richardson gets hurt. Joe Flacco finishes the game. And Austin, give me your instant analysis, your instant reaction, just based off of what you saw on Sunday.
Yeah, so offensively, we were moving to start the game. AR was doing well. He was leading us those first 2 drives. And then we got up 17-0 and then pretty much did nothing until the 4th quarter. So, defense stepped up big time. I know the Steelers don't have a great offense, but they were undefeated. So holding them and not letting them get that win was huge. Our secondary has stepped up. I know Pickett had a good game, but people thought that they were going to be the worst secondary in the league, and they've been doing okay. They've been not a total disappointment. Our defensive line was depleted, but they played well, and I think we're growing defensively as the year's going on.
One thing we didn't talk about was Tyquan Lewis. Oh, man, talk about guys that can't ever catch a break, bro. Why can't Tyquan Lewis ever catch a break, man? You guys know I love Tyquan Lewis. He gets hurt again. I don't remember Shane saying anything about is it an arm injury or elbow injury?
He broke his arm.
He broke it? Oh, dang. How long is he out for?
I didn't say an hour, so it could be 4 games at minimum.
Dang. So he's on the IR, so minimum 4 games. Man, I can never, ever catch a break with Tyquan Lewis, bro. That's so disappointing. And
he's been hurt every year, man.
Every year, and it's the same thing with Anthony Richardson, right? He finally gets to the game where he's like, all right, make an impact. And then just something weird happens and he gets hurt. Like this time it was an elbow, bro. Like seriously, like come on, man. Bro, that sucks. So he'll be out minimum 4 games, which means he didn't get to sit on Will Levis, and which sucks because that's easy sacks for him. But that'll be it. But we'll hopefully have him back by the second time we play them, which will be later on this year. Josh, kind of give me your takes on what you saw on Sunday.
Due to me having issues watching it through YouTube TV, and I don't want to say anything bad about him right now, but I had issues watching it. But I did, was able to watch the game. Like you said, we came out red hot on offense. First year drive, like you said, going up 14. Then hadn't kicked a field goal after I think it was a turnover. We got with Pickett, who was very loose with the ball. I was nervous about the secondary because we didn't. What happened?
Fields, Pickett's on the Eagles.
Oh, okay, got my bad. Good catch. He caught me. Yeah, I had a typo. It just, he talked about the quarterback, George. He was loose with the football as he was. They was really getting close to the end zone. And then Justin Fields being Justin Fields. He wouldn't. I wouldn't say inaccurate, but he was taking sacks 10 yards back, 20 yards back, like a fool. And I think he lost that fumble with Chris Lemons picking up that recovery. It just seemed like everything was going our way. Against that team, I love it. To me, beating the Steelers was personal because all the years that we've lost to them for 10 years in a row or 8 years in a row. That game against where Nick Harper got tackled after getting stabbed in the leg.
Never forget that game.
I'll never forget that game because the game we could have won. Jerome Bettis he fumbled the ball in the goal line and he picked it up, took off running, had the game won. Had to rely on idiot kicker and Mike Vanderjagt, and he missed it. I just would never forget that. So I mean, and we had the opportunity to go to Super Bowl to play Seattle, and we lost. So it's just like I am still bothered by that game. I am still bothered by that game. I'm bothered by the game.
Win that Super Bowl against that Seattle team.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Like that's things like that. And then the game where Brissett was doing good, he got hurt. Offensive lineman.
That's right. We started 3-0. Was that the year Andrew retired?
Yes, we did good. Started 5-2 or 5-3, something like that.
Beginning of the fake Ballard era. Yeah, that's right. I remember that game. That's when Ballard started his shenanigans. That was 9 years. That was like 6 years ago. That's crazy.
The game, Vinatieri's missing field goals. So I am livid versus Steelers. I want to win every year for the next 100 years. So
we grew up in some pain against that team, man. It's funny because I was telling a coworker of mine who's a Steelers fan. She was texting me their game and she was like, this game is crazy. And I was like, look, I will celebrate this like my Super Bowl because growing up, I didn't get to watch us beat you guys that much. And so beating you guys it is like winning the Super Bowl for me because I didn't get to see it happen that often. It was definitely nice to see that. Looks like you got a couple comments. Nick Cross is much better than I ever thought he would. Brian, don't believe in that baloney. Nick Cross is not really as good as you thought he would be.
Nick Cross is a dog.
What'd you say?
Nick Cross is a dog.
All right. Anyway, so we'll move on. He is overperforming and hitting his skill cap at his level of talent. That is currently where it's at. We will continue to see how he continues to develop. I do think he's probably a little bit better than we expected, but I also think some of the offenses that he's faced haven't been able had a great opportunity to expose him at his weaknesses.
No, I will say this: he's tackling ramped up because our team can't tackle.
He is tackling at a high clip. He at a very good clip because until the last couple of weeks, he was probably our best tackler. It felt like at times he probably was our only tackler. But
him and EJ lead the league.
Yep.
They're Todd.
Yeah, he just be on.
Yes, yeah, they lead the league in tackles, don't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So EJ, the linebacking play has been very good the last 2 weeks. It was atrocious the first 2 weeks. It goes to show, in the game of football, when you do this thing called tackle, it makes a big difference. It's kind of the entire point of the game. So when you tackle and you don't have, and I didn't go, I haven't had a chance to go check and see. Actually, I can probably pull it up when you guys talked. I haven't had a chance to see how many missed tackles we had the last couple of weeks as a group. So I'm curious to see how many missed tackles this team has had the last couple of weeks. So why don't you guys, real quick, while I go look for that, Josh, do you mind reading through the comments, and I'm going to go find out what we've got as far as missed tackles the last couple of weeks, because I am curious.
All right. Sean says, I thought we punched them in the mouth in the first half. Defense played their soft defense. Yeah, that's what really happened. I think Shane Steichen said we got up early. We kind of took our foot off the gas, so there's a reason for them coming back. But, of course, I think it was not even doubt that we was going to lose. They just came back and allowed us to kind of, be more efficient on offense, because we kept going through and out, getting sacks and stuff like that on taking unnecessary sacks on offense. I think Flacco almost threw a pick. I think we talked about that too, as far as A.D. Mitchell on that possession. And that defense was just playing soft, like you said, playing soft defense, playing his own, and allowed them to come back in that game. Shouldn't have never happened. I think Denzel Washington, their tight end, he stiff armed EJ Speed and jumped over somebody, hurdled somebody. It was just going crazy right then. But we had to stop that. Once it was like 2 minutes left in the game, where we had to clamp up the defense and, like you said, stop them on fourth down to get the turnover down to win the game. So yeah, definitely had to do that. We can't do that every week. We've done that the past 2 weeks with the Bears, and done that with the Steelers. Steelers, not the best offensive team in the league. They was only averaging maybe not so. I can't remember what it was. They're not like I said, they're not top 10 in offense. They just won, against some bad teams. And I don't want to just discredit their wins, but I think they only allowed 9 points a game when we dropped 27 on them, and could have had 30. It just missed a field goal. To Sean Porter, where he says he's missing too. Yeah, he is missing. If he's injured, I think he should sit. But I seen we released the other kicker we had, the rookie quick kicker. So they're gonna roll out with him.
Kicker is the one position I really feel like Ballard should go dig in there than Goodwill for and find anybody. Because at this point, I'm sure anybody can kick better than Matt Gay. So I'm okay with anybody.
You're saying Ryan's saying that say what you want about Ballard. He drafts safeties and O-line very well, and then he listed the safeties Hooker, who's injury prone. Cross, we're just not seeing Cross, and Blackman somewhat injury prone, but he's playing. He's effective. They all have dog mentality. It's just Hooker just couldn't be on the field.
They have dog potential, but two of those three guys couldn't stay on the field for longer than a Band-Aid would stay on a wound for me. So I don't know. I wouldn't say all dogs. I think they have really good potential. We didn't hire Chris Ballard to be a glorified scout. So to say that he drafts, a safety and O-line very well doesn't move me, because he still can't build a team to save his life. So, and I still believe that to this day, because if that was the case, we'd probably be trying to bring in some more guys to help this depleted secondary and defensive line with. Which we don't. It's only Tuesday, right? We don't. Or it's Wednesday. We don't know what's going to happen with the defensive line. No shame in letting the Steelers come back. Greg. No, there is great shame in letting them come back. We should have won that game like 50-0. Honestly, I want to dog walk the Steelers every time we play them to make up for all the lost times that we had.
Yeah, especially that 1 year they dropped 50 on us, and I think Big Ben had 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, so Antonio Brown, was jumping all over and kicking helmets in midair. Like, no. I want to dog walk that team every time I see them. So I'll take the win, but overtime, I want that to be pretty bad. What else we got there, Josh? Is that everything?
I think probably the predictions. Oh no, TJ Watt.
Oh no, comments wise, was that everything?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So quick, we missed 10 tackles on Sunday. One by Grover Stewart, which it's a defensive lineman. Believe it or not, Nick Cross was credited for 2 tackles, 2 missed tackles. Latu was missed, which is the one where Justin Fields got away. He should have finished that. Jalen Jones had 2. EJ Speed had 1. So between EJ Speed and Zaire Franklin, only 1 missed tackle in the linebacking core. Excellent. That is what excellent tackling is. That is what you expect from those 2 guys.
And EJ missing the tackle against a big athletic tight end. So yeah, I can live with that.
I can totally live with that. Teresa, what's up? It's okay for being late. We are still here, live and kicking it. Good feeling. Yeah, definitely. Listen, I would much rather be 2-2 than 1-3 right now. So I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I'm glad we don't have to go down this climb the mountain road that we've been going down for the last 6 years. Definitely, and 3-2 at this point of the season, as disasterable as our first 2 weeks felt, 3-2 right now feels really good to me, honestly. And I'm very excited to have the opportunity to go 3-2. Cool.
Yes.
Any other reactions, instant reactions before we dive deeper into this game that you guys have?
That Samuel Womack dude from the 49ers.
Oh, baller.
He stepped up. He stepped up pretty well.
That's a dog right there. That dude was really good.
Yeah, I mean, if he can keep that up, that's solid.
I did see a play. I can't remember who posted it, but I seen a play where he was defending a guy, and then as soon as the ball was thrown in midair, he went to the next guy to get the deflection. I was like, yeah, you can't teach that. He's talented.
He had speed. The guy is actually really quick, and I think the ability to adjust and change directions that quickly goes like that. That is important at that position, especially if you're playing on the outside, right? Which I don't think. I think did he play a lot of nickel? I think he was lined up.
I'm sure.
I wonder if I can find that out. I'll check.
He played nickel. I think he played nickel with the. He did play looking at the Niners. Not I'm talking yesterday. I mean Sunday. Or you talking about before he got here? Because he did play nickel.
Oh, you can. Hold on, PFF. See, dog. See, this is what I like about PFF. So he played. Let's see. He played. Where is he at? Oh, here we go. Womack. He played actually. No, he played 53 snaps on the outside, one snap in the slot.
Yeah, I think Lamont played Nick.
That's where. Yeah. So Lamont, I don't know how you pronounce it, played 38 snaps in the slot. No snaps on the outside. So yeah, he was playing outside corner essentially, opposite of Jalen Jones, who continues to just dog. That's a dog right there. Jalen Jones is now entering dog status. He might be our second best corner behind Kenny Moore, is exactly.
If Juju can't stay healthy, I agree.
What else can we do? Yeah, he might. He is quickly entering second best, and then now all that means is when Juju gets back, if he can get to the level that we expect him to be, we will have 3 very, very good corners on this team, which feels really good to have. And these guys, then we can start to say, okay, Womack is filling in. We've got some guys there. These guys, Lemons, will have some opportunities. Now we're finally starting to build a corner room. And then, 5 years later, Chris Ballard, we can finally maybe say that he's addressed the corner room, I guess. But we are a long way from there. I am not willing to give Chris Ballard any credit for that yet because he has still failed us for 3 straight years.
To Samuel's point, that he said he'll never get cut from a team again. So,
yeah, I mean,
oh, good. And that's the type of mentality you have to have when you play in the NFL, right? You have to have the constant mentality of I'm not. This is not going to happen to me again. I am the best person or the best guy to be on this team to play this position. Kenny Moore kind of had a lot of that when he was here early in his career, right? He got cut by the Patriots, and he's like, nope, never again. You've got to have that type of mentality, especially at a premium position at like corner. You've got to have that type of mentality. So good. It's good to hear. Teresa says 2-2 feels better than 1-3. Completely agreed. She also said this AR and Anthony Richardson plays Sunday. We talked about this earlier. I don't really think we dove into whether or not we think. I think Austin, you said you think AR plays.
I think AR will play, and I think I'm about 60-40 JT playing tonight.
Yeah. What do you think, Josh?
I think AR plays, and I think JT plays. JT actually played on that ankle a couple years ago, before he got paid. We only won 4 games, so that's why there was a standoff with the pay, because we only won 4 games. So
I think AR plays. I don't think JT plays. You got to protect your value and your investments. I would hate to see something else happen to him, and then we lose him for longer. I'd at least rest him next week. But speaking of great play on the offense and offensive line, let's talk a little bit about TJ Watt and his inability to do much of anything. Not the standard that we expect of TJ Watt, right? You know, he has a hurry, he has a couple pressures. I don't think he got a sack. I'm not seeing anything here that shows that he got a sack.
No sack.
No sacks. He had
just
one
a hurry
pressure
and one hit.
There you go. A hurry and one hit. There you go. So first off, kudos to Jim Bob Cooter, who I think last week says that they, before the game, said, hey, you know, we've got a plan for this guy, and we think we're going to execute it very well on a very high level. And man, boy, did they execute. That might have been the best game Braden Smith has played in a very long time.
Yeah, he stepped up.
He played very, very well. There was a lot of one-on-one with TJ Watt and himself, and I thought he definitely held his own. You don't get a lot of backslide help and running back blocking from him on that side. But yeah, I thought Braden, that's probably the best game Braden Smith has played in a long time.
And we didn't know if he's gonna play or not. Braden Smith, I think he did. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
right.
It was doubts that he wasn't going to play Sunday. So for him to still play with the injury that he has, and then lock up TJ, because he lock him up, he lock his ass up. He put the clamps. He was on Brady Smith Island.
Yeah, it felt that way. So, but yeah, you know, kudos to what did you guys notice in the game plan that kind of helped limit his effectiveness and his ability to wreak havoc as he normally does?
Yeah, for me.
Years. Go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead. All right, sorry. So obviously Braden Smith stepped up, had a great game, and I saw, you know, several tight ends chip in, you know, hit him before they would go out. Running backs hit him before they would go out. One play, AR handed the ball off and then went to hit him. Like, it was just, everybody was just chipping in, you know, helping Braden Smith, and I don't know, it worked. Whatever they did worked.
Yeah, I agree. If they can continue doing that, you know, with the guy coming up next week, I appreciate that. But you know, TJ, we've seen TJ Watt win Defense Player of the Year. He had over 20 sacks. He just won't get 20 this year, and especially not on us. But Braden Smith have been inconsistent. We all have seen this over the years. Being inconsistent, been injured, and missing games. For him to come out, barely practice all week, to come out and keep his guy in check on the side of the field. I don't know if they even put him on the other side of the field to try to get him to get to the quarterback. I don't know that they did that or not, but that didn't work.
Think that's where he got his pressures from, because I do remember him lining up on the other side a few times,
and it didn't work either, because Quinn Nelson locked that up. So I mean, and Bernie. So I mean, like you said, the plan was to make sure he didn't wreck our game. They got some sacks, but it wasn't because of him.
Yep.
And it's because our quarterback is old as shit and stayed in the pocket. So
yeah, that's true.
So, and that's the thing about, that's what we talk about AR. having him as a quarterback, eliminates having a guy to sit in the pocket. We used to have, Rivers, having Matt Ryan, having guys that sit in the quarterback and take hits instead of guys that like Wentz was able to move out. Some with Brissett, some with Andrew Luck, and having AR in there where he can feel that pressure, he can escape. Not always run, but make a play like he did the first play of the drive. It was pressure around him. And he threw a dangerous pass, as a commentator would say. It was a dangerous pass to Michael Pittman for 40 yards. So
that was right on the money, though. That was such a beautiful pass.
Yes, I agree with that.
Ryan Broughton says, imagine if Luck had this. I don't want to imagine anything with Andrew Luck. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. I get what you're saying, but that was 8 years ago. The game was totally different. You could really start to, like, as time has gone on, like, carve out like 2010 to 2016 as its own era of football, because it was almost like a transition into what we see today. Yeah, could this O-line with Andrew Luck, been not as shitty of a roster as it was in 2014, where Andrew Luck had to carry this team on his back every game because Ryan Grigson was an idiot? Yeah, probably, but it's so hard to say because there were so many good defensive lines, those back in those days as well.
But he had a good line. He had a good line in 2018. He just retired in 2019.
But even with the great line, right? He didn't have. Now, if you say Andrew Luck in this offense, this is probably the number one offense in the league. Sure. I truly believe that. I believe Andrew Luck in this offense with these guys would be the number one offense in the league, because now you're talking Andrew Luck is in his prime, right? What is he, like 28 right now? 29?
He's over 30.
He's over 30. Damn, we're that old.
He was like 29. He was like 29 or 30. I think he's the eighth or ninth year when he retired. So he's over 30. I can double check though. I can double check that, but yeah, I think he's.
Yeah. I didn't. I guess he played 4 years at Stanford. He came in when he was 23. Yeah, I guess he would probably be over. But still, I still think he's playing at a very high level, still in his prime at this point of his career.
He's 35.
Andrew Luck is 35. You're old. My God. I don't listen. Yeah, maybe we do think about it that way. I don't know if Andrew Luck at 35 can move like Andrew Luck at 25. But he probably does become a much better passer than he was back in the day, right? Because he's forced to stay in the pocket. I don't know. That's why it's so hard to say. Like, well, we really don't know. And then quite honestly, that was 6 years ago. I don't want to talk about what Andrew Luck could and couldn't have done, because it doesn't matter anymore. I'm kind of over the Andrew Luck era, to be honest.
And it just kind of makes me sad to think about him.
Yeah, that too. I don't want to put myself through that misery anymore. So, JJ Watt, who's that? I only heard his name once. Yeah, I don't remember hearing a lot of TJ Watt at all. So, and JJ Watt is sitting at the broadcaster's desk, having a good old time with CBS. He's doing a good job, by the way. Very entertaining.
I agree.
So nice to have a coach that chips great defensive ends. Yes, lots of. I think was it Austin or Josh called it out, right? Keeping the tight ends in, keeping the running backs in, chipping them off the line, and then going into open space. I think the Ogletree touchdown, he chips TJ Watt, and then he goes and sits in the middle of the field, and that turns into like a 15-yard touchdown, right? Imagine if you used a tight end that knows how to get rack and yak yards consistently and actually use them to do the same thing. Crazy concept. I know that was really awesome. So now all we have to do is do that with the tight end that does that on a regular basis, and that's why we drafted him. Maybe we'll do that one day. Not sure. Not calling any names or anything, but I hope we finally beat Jacksonville, get that monkey off our backs. Teresa, I do too. I do not want to come in here next week and talk about how we lost at freaking Jacksonville for like 900th year in a row. Luck would be a top 3 QB in today's NFL. Tell me I'm wrong. Luck would be 35. I don't know if 30. I'm not saying that that'd be old, but we don't know what Andrew Luck probably at this point at 35, if we didn't screw him over, might be a 2-time Super Bowl champion, maybe 3. Right? That's my. I thought he was that good. At 35 years old, though, I'm going to be honest with you, because of the way Andrew Luck left, I think Andrew Luck would have retired before 35, honestly. Like, I don't think he would have stayed in the league that long, even if he was healthy, just based off the way he left. So, I don't know. That's really hard to say. We all want to forget it. I know, but it's something we all think of. I don't think about it at all because it makes me too sad. So, like, I don't.
Definitely me. I don't want to reminisce.
I'm solely focused on our current franchise quarterback. I thought about it while we didn't have a franchise quarterback, but now that we have one again, I don't want to think about it. It is depressing.
Ryan,
I really liked him.
Ryan, just look at it, one or two ways. Where a couple years ago, where after each year we lost, some come out saying, "Hey, Irsay reached out to Andrew Luck and potentially coming back." That bothers us. That bothers me a lot because here we are thinking that we're going to move on. Hey, there's going to be rumors that we're going to talk to Andrew Luck coming back, and then we trade for Carson Wentz, then we trade for Matt Ryan. Yeah, I definitely want to do that again. I definitely want to just focus on him now. And AR is our quarterback. I'd rather just deal with that until he's not a quarterback anymore.
Till Arch Manning comes after he wins 2 national titles at Texas. Then we can talk about it again, right? Is that what we're doing?
We're not talking about y'all not winning championships, but go ahead. Yeah, him.
With Arch Manning, Texas not winning national title. Bro, Texas is winning a natty in the next 2 years. I don't know if they win it this year, but 100% Arch Manning's getting one.
It's going to be either Alabama or Tennessee.
Man. See, look, did you see how Austin started? He started with the hook and horn. And he saw the camera. It's like, oh, wait, no 3. Nah, bro. You see, y'all know what it is. We in this thing right now. Y'all know what this is. Y'all better get ready because it's a new era of the SEC. And that includes Steve Sarkisian and the Mannings. Y'all better get ready.
What's your thoughts on AR running the game, getting hurt?
What are your thoughts on AR getting hurt in his hip and put him right back in? Who the F did that? And that's why he got hurt. Dang it.
It was a combination of quarterback and the coach doing that.
Yeah. AR said he was good to go, so he came back in. They put him back in. They trust their quarterback. Shane Steichen believed him. That's why he went back in the first time. He gets hurt again. That's when they say, all right, we need to hold you against, your word, because that's when you protect your quarterback from trying to hurt himself. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what happened. It's like, hey, first time, cool, you're good. The second time, yeah, bro, yeah. We got to protect you against yourself at this point. So I kind of think that's what that kind of goes to. Texas needs somebody new. Why? Why would Texas has quarterbacks for the next 6 years? You guys are going to learn about them. I'll tell you right now. They have quarterbacks for the next 6 years. Don't worry about it.
So do the Vols.
They don't have quarterbacks in Texas. I'll tell you that right. Listen, y'all. Let me. KJ Lacey's coming in, right? He'll come in next year. And then we got Rajah Bell's son. And that dude is a baller.
We got Keelan Russell.
Man, have you seen? I don't want to sidetrack this, but I've seen Keelan Russell, the Keelan Russell debate. Have you watched Keelan Russell play?
Yeah, last couple games he went out. Outstanding.
Insanely good.
Yes,
and insanely talented. And if you look at how Kalen DeBoer used Jalen Milroe, my God, I'm truly terrified.
Are you being?
Are you trolling? I would give Alabama the benefit of the doubt over Tennessee because for whatever reason, Kalen DeBoer owns Steve Sarkisian. He's never beaten him. So Steve Sarkisian has never beaten Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, he's a USC.
It's really the last 2 years. So we'll just go with that. He's 0-2, and it's just the last 2 years. So, and that was when Steve Sarkisian. Don't worry about it. We will get our revenge. You join us on Thursday if you want to talk about Arch. Arch may win one. Texas should have won one. Listen, Brian, why are you coming
I
in here?
don't
with
want to talk about it. I don't want to
this
talk about it.
thing,
I don't
man?
want to talk about it.
Brian's coming in here with heart. Hey, do you remember when Andrew Luck retired and when he should have been doing this? Now you got to bring in how Colt McCoy would have beaten Alabama. We all know we
I
are
don't want to talk about it.
responsible. Here's the thing: we are responsible for beginning and ending the Alabama era, and so we have sealed our demons. We can now move on with our life. Arch Manning is going to win a national title in the next 2 years. Texas may win the national title this year. I don't know if they're going to or not. But listen, I'm a lot to be excited about when it comes to college football. It's been a very long time that I get to be this excited, and it's legitimate excitement, right? It's not like, Tyrone Swoops
We're number one.
overrated Notre Dame, and then they said Texas is back, and then clowned us and trolled us for 15 years about it. So this is legitimate goodness. And don't worry, we'll be by 3 weeks from now after we beat OU because they suck, and after we beat Georgia, we'll go back to number one. So I'm not worried about that ranking. So anyway, and then Tennessee will beat Alabama because Nico is better than Jalen Milroe. Got him. All right. Let's go back to the Colts. If you guys want to talk about college football and hear me talk trash about every college football team, Thursday nights with my boy Tim Wayne, 8:30 p.m. Texas Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. Be there. Follow us on Twitter and follow us on YouTube. Shameful plug. All right, guys, let's talk about ending curses because that's apparently the theme of the show tonight. Colts Jags, 12 o'clock game, and Jacksonville, whatever. I don't know if it's going to be sunny. I don't know if it's going to be rainy. Whatever is happening over there. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? I think the way I'd like to begin this is give me one thing, and I'm going to phrase this in a way. The Colts beat the Jacksonville Jaguars if. Josh.
Past couple of years in Jacksonville, it was the turnovers. So if we limit our turnovers and run the ball, we can win.
Okay. Austin.
I'm going to say if we pressure Trevor Lawrence and force him into bad throws, get some sacks, get a lot of pressure, QB pressure.
Okay. And I will say if the offense remains consistent from the beginning to the end of the game, because that is the one thing that lacks in this game for whatever reason is the offense usually doesn't either never picks up or it takes too long to pick up. And I think offensive consistency is a big deal. You've got to come out and score. It feels like almost every drive in this type of game because it is a rivalry game. You haven't won here a lot. There's a lot of eyes hoping you in this stupid curse that you've got. I think you've got to win. You've got to score every drive. So knowing all of our ifs, I want to kind of break this down a little bit more. Josh, or actually Austin, give me your thoughts on this game. What are you hoping to see? What are you hoping to the end result will be? And then we can go into prediction. We can go into predictions after that. So what are your keys to the game?
Yeah, so I think if Anthony Richardson plays, he needs to play how he started against the Steelers. He needs to get his mechanics right, be confident when he's throwing the ball, don't second guess himself, and just be accurate. Hit your guys, whether it's deep, whether it's short, mid, don't matter. Just go out there and be confident and hit your guys.
Cool. Josh, what are your thoughts?
One thing is I'm going to add on to it. I was just saying, quarterback doing what he needs to do to be effective and stay on the field. Offensive line continue being effective. Make sure you maintain or you contain Josh Allen, Hines, and then Trayvon Walker. Those are good defensive linemen in the end that can wreck your game. We've seen them do that, and they're home, so they're motivated. They're 0-4. So to contain those guys, I think they're down on cornerbacks and safeties and linebackers. They had a couple guys that got hurt on IR. So they are just as depleted as we are. We just have to win the turnover battle, make the right reads, make the right plays, and run the ball. If we have our running backs, if we have JT run the ball, because JT run extremely well against Jacksonville, pretty much every time he's on the field. And the last times we didn't have him, we lost. We lost week 1 last year. We didn't have him because we had Evan Hall and Funk and Deion Jackson. Ass.
That was brutal.
And then we played him in it was at home. Played him in Jacksonville. It was ineffective as well. We just got to have a running back that's going to get positive yardage and win the time of possession. I don't think we didn't win it last week, but we still won the game. Win the time of possession. Make sure you don't have Trevor on the field where he can impact the game with Brian Thomas Jr. and Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram, all his weapons. So like that. So yeah, definitely those things that help us win the game.
Believe it or not, if this becomes a shootout, I'm not concerned at all. If this game becomes your offensive consistency versus my offensive consistency, I'll take our offense's consistency because that Jacksonville offense looks atrocious.
Yeah, Chris Taylor sucked.
Their offensive line is not very good. I don't think Trevor's getting the time that he needs. One of the things we talked about last week is GMs and their ability to build teams, right? And we talk about it every week because that's one of my most hated things about this team is, and we talked about every franchise quarterback being a system quarterback, and it's the GM's job to build the right team around him. I still don't think that this GM has built the right team around Trevor Lawrence's strengths, and I think that's probably why we see him struggle a lot. But is some of that also on Trevor Lawrence? Yes, but I think the majority of it is you don't have offensive line protect him. And it's been 5 years and he's still running for his life. If he could get a little bit more time to allow for plays to develop, because that's where he excels, and he has time to scan the field, kind of like what most QBs have, I think he would be much more effective. For me, the key to the game is defensive line pressure. You've got to continue to pressure Trevor Lawrence. Latu, I think this is going to be a Latu coming out party. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see Latu go up against Cam Robinson, because I really do think that he's going to have his huge national coming out party this week. And I think Latu gets a couple sacks this week and puts some pressure on Jacksonville. It remains to be seen what that does for us offensively, but I think from a defensive perspective, that's what's going to happen, and it's going to put us in a great position to win this game. So, Teresa says, what nights are y'all on? Any specifics? I've seen you on Tuesdays. We are on Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That was right. 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern. We will move to Wednesdays sometimes because if the main show, the AFC South Fan Battle show, goes on Tuesday nights because there's a Monday night game, then we will move to Wednesday nights. Or if there's something going on with us, so keep tabs on us on Twitter, Twitter, TikTok, all the places, YouTube, Facebook. We'll let you guys know if we change the show. But we are normally on Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Like having Richardson here, Jacksonville will tee off against Flacco like they did Minshew. I think the key is coaching. Patterson has been outcoached all season. Patterson. Oh, Peterson.
Peterson. Yeah.
I was thinking who that was. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know what it is with Peterson. I thought it was a good fit for him with Joe Flacco, but it's turning out to be with Trevor Lawrence, but it's turning out to be a disaster. You guys have any thoughts around that?
I mean, I hope he's losing and they fire him, but I also want them to keep him.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I've heard a lot of Jags fans say is his connection with Press Taylor is just what gets him in trouble. So, I mean, that could be the issue here too.
Too stubborn.
One of the best friend things. Yeah, we know when you hire your best friend, it doesn't work out. I don't know how many more times you guys say that in football, but apparently that's like the new thing. Let me go hire my best friend. So hey, if you wanna leave your career off your best friend, go for it. Latu gonna have a big game. He's been making some plays week to week. Yeah, no, he's gonna continue to grow, right? Latu is starting to make a huge impact. He's had the last 2 games, he's had 1 or 2 plays that have made a huge impact on the game. Last week, I thought it was the batted ball late in the fourth quarter. and a couple of opportunity. And I think he had a sack last week too, late in the game. And then the week before, obviously the forced fumble on Caleb Williams. Right? That's the kind of stuff we brought him in for. Right? He's going to be a game wrecker. He's going to continue to get better, continue to grow. He's going to be an animal in this league, and I'm very excited. He's still very young too. I think he's only like what 23, 24 maybe.
22 or 23.
Yeah. He's very, very young, and he's had a lot of college experience. So, I'm very excited. Latu's going to be a game wrecker for this team. He's got stupid high potential. I'm very excited about Latu. We have weapons: Downs, Pierce, Pittman, Mitchell. My bold take for this week: A.D. Mitchell gets his first career touchdown this week. I think he's fine. Something is going to click this week, and A.D. Mitchell gets his first career touchdown. Downs, Pierce, Pittman, Mitchell, Sermon, Goodwin. Use what we have. We got this. I actually believe in Trey Sermon. I don't know if I believe in Goodwin. Maybe Goodson. Is it Goodwin? Goodson? I don't believe in Goodson. Goodwin.
Goodson.
Yeah, so we'll see we'll see what happens there. I would feel much better with Jonathan Taylor. I would not feel much better if Goodwin is the second guy we have to rely on. I actually do think Trey Sermon is actually shown a lot this year, and I think he's finally starting to get comfortable in the league, and he's played very well for us. We got this Latu Cross and whoever's in for Buckner, next man up. Let's do this. Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a choice but to do this, so hopefully we can get that. We can get that taken care of. Downs is so underrated. I hope he stays. What did you guys think about Josh Downs last week?
It was great. It's something that we missed the previous 3 weeks.
I think he's very reliable. He's always open, I feel like.
That's what
honestly, to me, the way he played reminded me a lot of T.Y. Hilton. Just something about it.
Yeah. He allowed the ball to go down the field a little bit more. I think it also takes the. I honestly feel like Josh Downs hurt A.D. Mitchell more than it helped him, because not having Josh Downs hurt A.D. Mitchell more than because he didn't have the opportunity. He kind of got slotted into that role of all right, Josh Downs is out. You've got to play, right? I think now A.D. Mitchell's going to be able to kind of ease into the offense. There was one play last week I was so pissed. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was in the red zone. I think. A.D. Mitchell just completely kills the corner and comes off the route and hits a drag route. Wide open would have been a touchdown. And Joe Flacco completely missed him.
He threw to somebody else. He threw it to a play that was incomplete.
I was like, somebody is eventually going to figure out that this guy, A.D. Mitchell, knows how to get wide open. He is wide open more. And then there's another throw that Joe Flacco missed. Alec Pierce were in a corner route and was wide open. And I think Joe Flacco missed him. I think he tried to throw it to, I don't remember if it was Downs or Pittman, and he was double covered. And maybe it's if I had one more second, I could have thrown it. But there was another play where Alec Pierce was wide open. Bro, get A.D. Mitchell the ball this week, please. Please, for my sanity, and get A.D. Mitchell the ball, because that dude is always open. There's a stat for route percentage of wide open, being wide open based off how you run routes. I think A.D. Mitchell's is pretty insane. It's his route running has allowed him to get wide open something like 20 or 30% of the time, which is actually really insane.
I did like the end around he had that got the first down.
Yeah. I think that was just more to kind of get him going. I don't know if that was I think that design was can we do something to get this guy going, because we know he can be dynamic. If you want to get him going, find him in the passing game, because that guy's going to be wide open at time. I'm actually going to look right here what that looks like. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Percentage of it's something like percentage of I can't find it. I'll find it. I'll tell you guys about it next week. But there's a ridiculous percentage that calculates how open you get based off the routes that you run and how you run routes. So Please get him the ball for my sanity. Teresa says Latu. And finally, Ryan says he brings something different to this offense that Ty did. You said it first.
Yep.
I think he actually brings a better dynamic than Ty did. So Ty. So here's the thing, right? I think Josh Downs is a much better at this point of his career, a much more pure route runner than T.Y. Hilton was at this point of his career. T.Y. Hilton was a great deep threat. I don't think T.Y. Hilton really developed his ability to run great routes until a little bit later in his career. I think Josh Downs already has that ability.
Yeah, he showed that.
That's huge.
Tar Heels.
Yeah. I could trust Josh Downs to run any route in the route sheet.
Yes. Like I said, he showed it with the Tar Heels, and he had like 11 touchdowns, and I think led the nation in touchdowns. So.
Yeah. You guys know we all love Josh Downs. He's going to be awesome. Hopefully he stays healthy. So it'll be nice. Is Latu going to shake the shit out of Lawrence? I hope so. I don't know if I missed a reference there, but yeah, I hope so too. Actually, I hope he doesn't shake the shit out of him because I like him to sack him. So that would be nice. But maybe I missed a reference there. Alrighty, guys, we are getting to the end of the show. I know we've been going for an hour and a half. This has been a lot of fun. I like this has been great. So we appreciate you guys. Before we get out of here, though, predictions. Austin, go. What do you think this weekend?
I think we finally break the curse. We win in Jacksonville, 24-17.
Josh,
I would like to say 99-1, but I'll take a close game because all our games been close. I'll take I'll say 24-23. I want to win.
Wanted to come on here and be the optimist, and then I really wanted to come on here and be the pessimist because it's just happened so many years in a row that it's hard for me to believe anything different until I see it happen. I think the Colts fall short 27-24. So I'm going to take the same score that you had, Austin, but flip it. I think Jacksonville wins this one. And then I need to finally see it to like believe it because it's happened so often that it just feels like it's the perfect storm, right? Jacksonville's 0-5 or 0-4.
You said it right.
Yeah.
They're going to be 0-5.
Yeah. They come into this game losing a couple games they probably shouldn't have. It almost feels like this is just another game that they just like all of a sudden figure it out for the one game and they beat the Colts. And it's just how this goes. If we come into Sunday and AR and JT are playing, I think something like this could happen because I think, it creates that kind of dynamicism. But with the way that the teams are stacked right now today at this point and where we're at, I just don't see them winning in Jacksonville because I haven't seen it in 10 years. So I have the Jags winning 27-24. Before we get out of here, though, one last thing. Josh, where can the people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Who is Josh Senior, and here on every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern.
Austin, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cookie Austin 2.
Cool. And you guys can find me on Twitter at the Uncle Gandhi. You can also find me on Thursday nights with my boy Tim Wayne, Texas Longhorn Film Battle Podcast, where we're going to talk about finally being good for the first time in 15 years. Real quick before we head out of here, primetime Ian Kennedy says, F it, Colts winning a blowout 31-14. Let's get it. They're bringing back jerseys. We kicked their ass in for this game. The good vibes are there. Hey, you know what, Ian? I appreciate that sentiment and that positivity because we definitely need that around here. I think if they can beat Jacksonville this weekend and break this curse, I think it sets up for something very, very special moving forward. So, but hey, my name's Harish. These are my boys, Josh Sr., Austin Cook. We out of here. Peace.